Well, welcome to tonight's Summer Valley FM broadcast of Paulton Rovers against Bristol City. Paulton Rovers pre-season friendly here at Winterfield Road. It's a beautiful, balmy evening here at Winterfield Road. It looks like we've got a good crowd in for this match. Bristol City are represented by, it's a representative 11. I think they've got matters to attend to at Ashton Gate this evening, but we should see some names of the future here, hopefully, if we can get our names correct. I'm joined this evening, as I was going to say as always, but it's been a while. I'm joined by Simon Wellington. Good evening, Simon.
Good evening, Ian. It's quite interesting, actually, because there's a number of players that are playing in different positions for Paulton, and we're trying to sort out the lineup at the moment, because I believe they're probably going to have squad numbers this year. Is that correct? But doesn't look so far as though they've lined up with squad numbers, because they're 1 to 11 now, aren't they? But and again, the Bristol City side, lots of youngsters we can see out there, and we're trying to sort out names and so on, but we'll do our best as we go along, Ian.
Yes, we'll certainly do our best not to embarrass anybody. Now, we're also joined by Tony Walsh. Tony, who's now standing over there. So, Tony, Tony could come and stand to my left, because our first order of business will be to run you through tonight's starting lineups. The ball has gone back into the Bristol City half. Paulton Rovers are on the attack. I think that might be Marcus. No, it's not Marcus Matson. Who's that number? Who's number 9 tonight? That's
Mike Perrott.
Mike Perrott. So that's was he a signing from last year, Tony?
Yes, he's joined from Frome Town. He's been at Frome the last 4 or 5 years, I think. A very good signing.
He's a very strong player, very athletic. Broke straight into the box and powered that shot over the bar in a central position. What I'm going to do is the ball. Well, quickly, I'm going to I'll get Tony to run you through the Paulton Rovers side, because you are the home man, of course, not doing his duties this evening with the magic sponge. But Tony, do you want to quickly run us through the Paulton Rovers starting lineup?
Yeah, Rob Brown has started in goal. He's joined us from Forest Green. Dave Thompson, another signing from Frome, is at right back. Mike Reaney is at left back, and the centre half pairings are Marcus Mapston and Scott Bryce, with Brandon Barnes wearing number 6, Dean Evans 7, Ben Lacey 8, Mike Perrott, who looks as though he's playing up front with Nick McCooty, who's 11, and Dan Cleverly, the captain, at 10. We'll bring you the substitutes. Probably that will develop as time goes on. Paulton Rovers have got themselves into an attacking position over the right-hand side. It's going to be Cleverly over the ball, delivers a diagonal ball into the box, and Rise to get that one. Again, goes through to the Bristol City goalkeeper, who's wearing a fantastic luminescent orange shirt, lighting up the whole of Winterfield Road as he does. This is a good opening spell here by Paulton Rovers, putting pressure on this young Bristol Academy side. Bristol Academy playing from left to right tonight. They're in white shirts, black shorts and white socks. Paulton Rovers playing an unfamiliar all blue strip with a luminescent yellow numbers, which is a bit of a different kit for them. Normally, of course, playing in maroon. Cleverly on the halfway line, puts a diagonal ball over to the right. It's got a little bit too much on it and the ball goes out of play. So what we'll do is we'll go over. Simon, if you could run us through the Bristol Academy side, which I do note you haven't got written down, but I'm sure if you speak to Tony nicely, he'll let you borrow his pad.
Thank you, Tony. There's a number of names here I think I'll probably find difficult to pronounce, but we've got Jojo Walcott in goal, Harry Pace at number 2, Josh Allen at number 3, and then we go on to Tyson Pollard, Ben Withy, I wonder if that's a Graham Withy, you never know, Jack Batten, Elliot Nelson, we're going back up here, Pierce Mitchell, James Horgan. Your writing's terrible.
I wanted to be a doctor.
Marley Bishop. I think that's as far as we can go at the moment. We'll sort it out.
We'll try and do these names justice. The ball goes rolling across the Bristol City goal there. Was I think, I'm not sure, is that Brandon Barnes out on the left there, Tony? It is Brandon. He's had his hair cut a little bit from when we last saw him, still quite distinctive. Bristol City now managed to get the ball into the Paulton half, but Barnes kicks that one away. I think I might take the liberty of borrowing Tony's pad, if that's all right, because otherwise it could make this job particularly difficult. Jojo Walcott's seen quite a lot of the ball in these early exchanges. He clears it up to the halfway line. City still struggling to get the ball out of their own half. They've got it on their right-hand side, playing it across now into the centre of defence. Nick McCooty there, sniffing, see what he can get. Paulton Rovers have started very strongly in these opening exchanges, and now Scott Bryce actually gets his first touch of the game, and as he rolls it back to our goalkeeper tonight, Rob Brown. We're used. That's a fascinating. I really like that goalie's kit. Tony, this is a very well liveried Paulton Rovers team you've got here this evening.
Yes, this is a new away strip. We've traditionally always played in blue shirts, and this year we're playing in all blue. the maroon strip has arrived, but they're choosing not to play with it just at the moment.
Well, it looks a little bit. Well, watching Wimbledon of old. Now, one of the reasons I was so keen on getting Simon to run us through the Bristol Academy side is because in a past life, that was one of the teams you've represented.
Many years ago, I think it was in a previous life, Ian, I signed on Western League forms for Bristol City. I'd been in there over the summer holiday on a trial period, and they asked me to sign for them, shockingly. And so I signed on for the Western League side, but then I asked if I could go training locally with Paulton Rovers, and I went training with Paulton, and they asked me to sign on for them instead. And prior to that, we'd had a pre-season friendly against Paulton Rovers. They'd thrashed us 4-0, so I thought, well, I'm not going to be going anywhere in this side. I'll try Paulton Rovers. So I've had more clubs than Jack Nicklaus, though, Ian. So.
Makuti now brings the ball forward. He's found Perrott over on the right. Perrott just on the edge of the box. He turns well. He's trying to get a shot away. I don't know if that's taken a deflection as it goes out. I think it might have done. So that's going to go out. Bristol City scrabbling down in that right back position to try and keep it in, but it's gone out of play. So Paulton are going to get a corner. I think that was number 2 there for Bristol City, running after that Harry Pace, but he didn't quite have enough of it and he couldn't keep it in play. And now Paulton get, I think it's the first corner of the game.
I'll tell you what, though, Ian, I think it might be a bit of deja vu. I know it was many years ago, but I can see quite a 4-0 coming up here this evening, but we'll see how it pans out.
Well, I was going to introduce you as being in the white corner, but maybe be a fault. Well, if we've got plenty of listeners here this evening who are going to be wanting it to be Paulton Rovers on the victory end, but it was a slightly alarming ball there, back from Mike Reaney to Brown, and number 7. I think is that number 7. It is number 7. James Horgan for Bristol City through on goal, but it didn't come to anything. And now there's been a foul in the middle of the park. Bristol City take a quick one. That was Connor. I can't even attempt to pronounce that. So we're going to have to get Tony to help me out with that number. How do you pronounce Connor's?
I understand it's Connor Lemonhay-Evans.
Lemonhay-Evans. Now, I can guarantee that with a name like that, he's bound to see a lot of the ball this evening as the ball goes back into the hands of Rob Brown in the Paulton goal. But anyway, my compliments to you on the livery for this season, Tony. I think it's a very good kit, particularly that goalkeeper's kit. Looks like he should be playing for Holland wearing that. Anyway, Brown launches the ball into the Bristol City half. Ball's going to... Makuti just keeps it in down on that right-hand side. He's trying to find a bit of space. Makuti, this is quite a slight Bristol City side in comparison to Paulton Rovers, and Makuti's been able to use his size there. And Paulton Rovers doing well to keep the ball in the Bristol City half. It's been a bright start by Paulton, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah, I'm quite impressed by them, because it's Bristol City who should be the ones who are knocking the ball around and taking the mick a little bit, but it's certainly Paulton Rovers who are dominant in this, and added to which they've got that superior strength, because they're only little lads, the Bristol City side, and with that extra strength and by using their heads a little bit, Paulton are doing very well.
City are on the ball now, and that was Joe Morrill. Gets it back to Harry Pace. Pace, again, they're going across the back. They've got it in the centre back, and he'll strokes it over to their left back. I think it's Josh Allen. Allen puts a long ball forward, but I think that's going to be Mapston, or was that Bryce? Now it's Bryce under that. He's obviously summered well as Scott Bryce. He's got a lovely tinge of maroon, even if his kit hasn't. The lads, I know you've seen a couple of games already, Tony. The lads are looking in good shape after their summer holidays.
Yeah, I think one thing is, although we've made a few signings, we haven't made many. And when you look at our competitors in the Southern League, they've had wholesale changes, and we still seem to have a lot of stability. 3-4 new signings in the squad, and quite a few on the bench are existing players. We are losing, of course. Stuart Pearson has left to go and live in Stevenage, and I understand he's joined Hitchin Town. And Ben Osborne is leaving shortly to work in London, and Nick Bunyard is trying to find him a club up there.
Well, that won't be a difficult task because Ben Osman has impressed on a number of occasions. We've been down to Winterfield Road. He's a very, very good player. Bristol City bring it away now. Ball's been put over onto the... I think that's going to be... right in the face by Marcus Mapston there. He's going to feel that in the morning. He looks like he's going to feel it now, but it's gone out of play for a throw-in down here on the right-hand side. This is taken quickly by Pace. Dispossessed there by Brandon Barnes. Brandon Barnes now showing his pace and he's off. Gets out to the halfway line. Puts a ball into the middle of the park to number 7, Dean Evans. Dean Evans, of course, is well known to many local listeners, but Evans' ball a little bit too long there for Brandon Barnes. Bright stuff here for Paulton Rovers. You played in that. You played a number of games. I know you played for Welton when you were still in your teens, Simon. What's it like for young players? Technically very proficient, but lacking perhaps in that physicality when they come up against older, stronger players.
It's immensely frustrating. I can't really explain to you how frustrating it is. It's very. They're in the penalty area. Right, Bristol City have got it clear. But no, it is very, very frustrating. You feel for them because playing in, say, youth games and so on, they're playing against people of their own physicality, but coming up against this very, very solid Paulton side, they will get despondent in the second half, I can guarantee it.
Well, they've got a break on there. It was number 9, Marley Bishop, who'd broken into the Paulton box. It's been, there's been adjudged to be a foul, and I think it's going to be Paulton Rovers who are going to be the beneficiaries of it. But certainly Marley Bishop, their centre forward, is he's quite. He's certainly not lacking in physique, and he had a right old tussle there with Scott Bryce. I've got a feeling. Scott Bryce would be fair to say, Tony. I'm a big admirer of Scott Bryce, very solid at the back. But if he had a shortcoming, I think he'd be the first to admit that pace isn't his strong point. He could find himself up against a speedster this evening.
He could. He's deceptive actually, Scott. But yes, I agree with this big tall lad playing at centre forward for Bristol City is very good. I think one of the things this is useful for is that. Of course, Alex Ball is now the academy coach, ex-Paulton player, played against Norwich and was here for 3 seasons and is a teacher by profession. And we may be able to build some liaison here by, if we needed to, taking 1 or 2 of these lads during the course of the season or next season. And it helps in their development as well, because then they're playing against men. When you're looking at the Paulton side, we've probably got maybe 1 player who's under 20.
Now there's a crossfield ball there, controlled very well by Brandon Barnes. Perrett's in the centre, but he's just been possessed by Lemon Hay Evans. I'm going to have fun with that one tonight. I apologise if I apologise if your family's listening to this. But anyway, the ball's cleared from the back there by Bristol City, but only as far as Mapston on the halfway line. Gets it over to Dave Thompson. At Bristol City get it and bring it away, and I've got a feeling this is their number 10 again. I think I might have to resort to calling him number 10. Yeah. Joe Morell's got it in the centre, but he was dispossessed there by Dean Evans. Ball's played up, looking for Perrett, but didn't quite get to him. Number 16 there, Jack Batten, brings it away for Bristol City. Bristol City calming down a bit now after that the early exuberance of Paulton. Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say they've weathered the storm quite yet, but I think they're finding their feet a little bit on this pitch. There's a long ball there. I think that might be they'll be well to keep that one in, and Brandon Barnes heads it out. So Bristol City will have a throw in a kit that almost looks like watching. It's almost like watching Germany in the colours of this Bristol City kit. But anyway, they've got a throw in on the right hand side. Taken short, but Brandon Barnes again dispossessing the number 7 Horgan. Perrett there dispossessed himself, but Brandon Barnes comes charging in. He falls over the ball, and the referee's going to give Paulton Rovers a free kick. There's a little bit of a coming together as the players just warm up a little bit. It's not too cold here.
No, it was one of those tackles again. The Bristol City player actually went in with 2 feet and both sets of studs showing, but he was clearly intent on winning the ball, and he did do so. So, technically it was a free kick, but certainly in pre-season friendly context it was quite a harsh one to give. But it does give Paulton a very good position to come in from. They're about 20 yards up from the goal line, right out on the wing now. Good position to come in from, and for people to get ahead on it for a possible goal.
So Pierce Mitchell there, getting a little bit of having an early chat with the referee. It's going to be Mike Reaney who's going to swing this one in. As Simon was saying, from the left wing, it's going high. It was found ahead, but Perrett's managed to get a shot away just on the edge of the box, but it was collected and quickly released. Good thinking there by the Bristol City goalkeeper. Bristol City now got a bit of a race on, and they're using their pace now to get away from Mapston. They're coming down the right wing, but again, no, it's not Mapston. That was Reaney, and it's ricocheted off his head. They're showing a lot of bravery, these Paulton players, because a couple of bangs to the head there, and it's number 2, Harry Pace, who's come over to take this corner for is it a throw-in? It is a throw-in. It is. I take it back. It was right on the corner flag position, but it is a throw-in. As that one's come in, and it's brought down by Connor Gordon Bennett. I really wish I could pronounce this poor bloke's name.
Connor
Lemonhain Evans. Right. You have to remind me of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Sounds like your favourite cake.
It sounds like that. Yes.
I'll just call him fudge cake.
No, you can't. You mustn't do that. Anyway, it's gone back into the arms of Jojo.
No, Rob Brown.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting it. I was going to say they're both wearing the same colour, but they're not really. That was a bit of a cop out by my part. Are we going to see the floodlights on tonight? I not that it makes a great deal of difference, I suppose.
With Jojo Willicott in goal, we won't need floodlights in.
No, not in that kit. You're absolutely right.
Last Friday when we played at home here, the game was completed without the floodlights coming on at all, Ian. It was such a bright night, but there's a lot of cloud cover.
It's a bit, isn't it?
So my guess is the last 15 minutes or so we may have the floodlights on.
Anyway, Paulton Rovers have the ball over on the right-hand side, right close to the touchline. I think that's Reaney who puts the ball in, comes off the head of number 7, and that's Dean Evans, and that just goes over the bar. I'm not sure whether... No, that will be a goal kick in the end. So how have Paulton been shaping up in pre-season friendlies so far then, Tony?
Well, we've won 2, drawn 1 and lost 1. All games have been tight, and it's been a good opportunity, but... the trouble is, it's been 2 different squads largely in each half, and I'll be quite honest, I find it really boring in the last 15-20 minutes because we've chopped and changed so much, you've lost the continuity. But I think now you'll see much more settling down, and you probably have seen the starting 11 for the season, first game of the season, obviously in Nick Bunyard's mind. But a very strong squad, actually. Strongest squad I think we've had since we've joined the Southern League, and there's a squad in depth. And that doesn't include the very good youth players who are on the periphery as well.
So Bristol City got it on the halfway line. Coming up their left wing. Number 7 there, James Horgan, doing well, twisting and turning to keep the ball. He does. But they pass it back into their own half. So keeping possession better now. Pierce Mitchell now gets it back to Jojo Willicott. But playing a patient game. Still 0-0 here at Winterfield Road. Bristol City have weathered the early storm. And, that was a lovely little turn to take it away from to Dan Cleverley. and the tenacious player, I think that is that's gone through to Rob Brown.
Dean Evans tried to take the young lad out completely there. I don't think that's on for a pre-season. But the number 10 skipped around it beautifully. It's a shame he couldn't have released a better pass, really.
Brandon Barnes now he plays a ball in there, a little back heel there. I think that might have been. Was that? No, it wasn't. I'm not entirely sure who did the back heel there. There wasn't anybody to follow it up. It was Ben Lacey who tried to tee it up for one of his players, but there weren't quite the numbers up there. Yeah, that was Connor Lemonhain Evans who he did very well, didn't he? I mean, he's got a sort of a Fabregas look about him, isn't he? Very slight player, but he uses his skill very well, and good body shift. Anyway, that ball played over the left hand side, too much on it, and that's gone out. So that'll be a goal kick. But Bristol City growing into this game, Simon.
Well, the number 10 has been their best player so far, I think, and certainly what I'm impressed about the Bristol City side is that their 2 centre backs are very, very solid, and they are big lads for their age, and they're handling it very, very well indeed.
Well, they're going to get a busy night tonight. I mean, I know we've covered games here before, normally cup games actually, where some of the younger players for Paulton Rovers have played, and I can remember watching Ryan Gay spend about an hour toiling on his own up front, only to craft out a couple of chances in the closing minutes of a fixture. But I thought on that occasion he learnt a lot from the evening, and I think a lot of these Bristol City players are going to learn a lot from coming up against certainly competent but also physically bigger opponents. Paulton have got a throw-in now on this left-hand side. Brandon Barnes was going to take it quickly. He's now going to give it over to Reaney. This is deep into Bristol City territory. Cleverly's on the ball, plays it down looking for Brandon Barnes, and Bristol City not taking any chances there and putting it out of play. So, I wouldn't say it's got too much of the feel of a pre-season friendly. I think to what Tony was saying, I think he might be right. We might find that in the second half, but certainly so far in the match it's been pretty competitive.
Well, I think certainly with the Bristol City side and with the Paulton Rovers side slightly less so, everyone is really keen to get part and parcel of the team, whereas the Paulton side are reasonably settled, as Tony says, but certainly the Bristol City boys just want to impress, don't they?
So Bristol City bring it forward. Now they've looking through to Marley Bishop. Marley Bishop's found himself in space in the box. He's tried to play it across. I think that was the wrong decision actually, because he should have had a shot there. But number 2 there, Dave Thompson, shepherding the ball out for a corner. That's got to be one of the best chances, if not the best chance in the game. And perhaps
he won't get many better chances to have a shot at goal. Number 9 went through for Bristol City, well in the open, and he decides to square it across, and then the Paulton Rovers intercepted it and it's out for a corner. But let's see what Bristol City can do with this.
Corner whipped in. It's a free header there. Still haven't cleared it, Paulton, but cleverly gets that one away. Still in the box though. Number 8 there, Joe Morell, turns it back into the centre. The ball again out to Morell over on the City left wing. Paulton got plenty of blue shirts back here, so I think the chance may well have gone for Bristol City, but certainly Bristol City showing what they're made of at the back there. I wonder whether he thought about that a little bit too long. I think he really needed to sort of hit that almost immediately with his first touch, because he was, when he'd been played into the box, he had the best angle.
You could almost see him thinking it through. Shall I shoot or shall I play it across? And certainly it then doesn't become instinctive, and it's always better to be instinctive in those sort of positions.
City bring it forward again down the left-hand side. They managed to get a cross in, but Rob Brown collects that one very calmly in the air, gets it out quickly to Brandon Barnes. Brandon Barnes taking it up the left wing, as he's done to great effect so far in the game. A crossfield ball there. I think it's a long one looking for Dean Evans, but Evans won't get there first. I think that was number 16, Jack Batten, at the heart of the Bristol City defence, who heads that back.
Very good game, that lad, Jack Batten. I think he's probably the better of the two of them. I wonder if he's captain. He seems to be commandeering the side quite a lot, but certainly a dominant figure in the Bristol City team.
So City keep the ball in, and it's
good ball.
Bishop there gets it, but it's back down to Cleverly. Cleverly shepherds it back to Rob Brown. Am I right in thinking that Cleverly will stay as club captain this season,
yes,
Tony?
He's club captain. He's captain tonight, and he's club captain. Scott Bright is vice captain.
That was a thunderbolt from Brandon Barnes over on the left-hand side. It was just to the left of the left-hand upright, but had that been on target, I don't think JJ Wallacott would have been pulling that one out the back of the net, because it was a good height actually, just a little bit left of the post. Now Brandon Barnes on it again, but first, I say he was under a bit of pressure there from Connor Lemonhain Evans. I think, yes. So it's back with it. I think we might be losing Tony for a bit. Anyway, Dean Evans has the ball for Paulton Rovers over on this left-hand side. What are we doing on the clock, Simon? Can you see how long have we played? Any idea?
We've played approximately 25 minutes, Ian.
So about midway through this first half here. Still 0-0 here at Winterfield Road. Good game. Bristol City have come back into it. Ball played down that right-hand side. I think that's Marcus Mapston there who manages to get it back. We could be seeing a little bit of chaos here in the Paulton defence, as Reaney and Mapston short passing between the two of them, and Rob Brown was involved as well. But anyway, they managed to get it Brandon Barnes all the way down on the left-hand side. First cross couldn't come in, but the second one has. It's gone out there to number 8, Ben Lacey, and Lacey scores. Lacey releases I think it was a right foot shot there, right into the roof of the net, and a very good opening goal there, Simon.
It was, and the weakness the Bristol City have got is in their left back position, and they've been cutting through there time and time again, and he wasn't really up to stopping that because that he just took one side step and laced it in, as they say. But no, it was without making too many puns, it was a very good goal.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that the speed at which Paulton got the ball down to the other end took me by surprise, let alone the Bristol City defence.
Well, the other thing is, Ian, the guy playing in left midfield, Brandon Barnes at number 6, I'd like to see him up there more, and it all came from him being right down in that corner, getting the cross in and getting in amongst them a bit. He's playing far too deep as far as I can see. I'd prefer to see the left back of Paulton coming across a little bit, Mike Reaney, taking up his spot and pushing him forward a little bit, and they'll be much more of a threat.
Because Brandon Barnes' cross for that goal was excellent. I mean, it was a good move between Brandon Barnes and Lacey. A very very good cross and a very well executed finish. I mean, we saw seconds earlier Bristol City with a defence splitting pass, which they weren't able to convert because they took a little bit too long. Yeah. Brandon Barnes and Lacey showing exactly what can be achieved, and with some quick thinking and some good teamwork.
Well, the other thing is if you look at the lineup when Bristol City are attacking. Hang on a moment.
Oh, hello, Matt. No, that was Nick McCooty there. Nearly managed to get on the back of a defensive error there. The ball was pinging around in the 6-yard box, but it's gone back to the goalkeeper. Do you mind if I borrow your pad again, Tony? Oh, cheers.
Yeah, Jojo Wallacott, goalkeeper. But no, I was saying that Bristol City tend to keep 3 players up when they're attacking, which I think is quite good. But Paulton are actually putting 4 and 5 across the back, which they don't need that actual fifth person. It turns out to be Brandon Barnes. He needs to be pushing forward.
Anyway, Paulton have the ball back now. It's number 2. It's Dave Thompson manages to get it over onto their right-hand side. Thompson again playing it forward, looking for McCooty. McCooty can't get there first, and it's back with Bristol City and Joe Morrell. Now, Harry Pace puts a foot in, the ball goes up in the air, and it's one in the air. I think that might have been by Perrott. His header, a strong effort, looking for McCooty, but had a little bit too much on it, and back into the arms of Jojo Wallacott. Now they come forward again, in just at the edge of the final third. City in this Paulton half. Lemonhain Evans having to go back as a header back, knocks it back to halfway, but he keeps possession. Very good at keeping possession. He's impressed me in this game so far. Harry Pace now has the ball, and they've got fed up of knocking it around between themselves, and they've hit it all the way back to Jojo Wallacott.
He's one for the future, number 10, isn't he, Bristol City player? He's a class above all the rest of them that are out there, including some of the Paulton midfielders. I don't want to be nasty, but he's certainly got a touch of class about him, hasn't he?
So that long ball put forward looking for Marley Bishop. He's very strong, and he's had a little bit of a tussle there with Scott Bryce. Bishop's come off best. He's got the ball. That was a back heel there. Bristol City have still got possession. Still in the Paulton Rovers hard, more central position now. Played over to the right, but cut out there by Reaney. Ball's actually gone all the way up to McCooty, and it's Perrott now who puts the ball. There's a crossfield pass over to the left. McCooty may well be the first person to get to this. He's going to get there before Harry Pace. Keeps it in play. Back to Brendan Barnes on the left. Barnes plays it to the edge of the box. Dean Evans there. Ball popped up behind him. He couldn't quite see where it was going, and it's gone back into Bristol City's possession. But actually, that's gone out, and I think that's going to be a Bristol City throw-in.
Talking about potential, McCooty for Paulton Rovers, I've seen him a few times now, and I think he could be such a really good player, couldn't he? Mm-hmm. And you just think, give him a kick, get him going, but he just doesn't quite crack it, does he?
Well, he had a very strong finish to the last season, didn't he, Tony?
Yeah. Well, I've seen Nick over the years. I don't know. He's probably about 25, and this last season I thought was the best I've seen him play for anyone. He scored more goals for Paulton than he ever did at any of his other clubs, and he was telling me at the end of the season he's never enjoyed it so much.
Good. Well, that's what we want to hear.
Well, in all fairness, he could be a league footballer, couldn't he? I mean, at the end of the day, it's not such a big gap as you can see here tonight between them. The different standards. So.
That ball there, a ball just over the bar, the Bristol City goal there. Now, Tony, I feel quite bad because I've stolen your pad, and I know you want to make notes because you're doing the match report. So if I remove this sheet, would that give you back your pad?
It's all right. I come from the Sun School of football writing. You make it up as you go along.
So, so whatever happens today, the match report is going to reflect a 4-0 victory for Paulton Rovers.
Probably.
I feel quite bad as well because Nick McCootie's girlfriend stood just in front of us, and so I've been slightly. Have I been derogatory?
Well, not. You could have been a lot worse. I mean, if he. Here we go. Perrett's now on the ball, edge of the box, just over to the right-hand side. The referee's blown up for infringement there. It's a bit of a shame because Perrett was in a very good position. The goalkeeper was well off his line.
I think he's saying that McCootie actually brought down the goalkeeper whilst he was on the ground, but I really don't think that was the case at all. But
you're trying to carry favour now, Simon, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm speaking loud enough.
You're doing a U-turn.
I'm speaking loud enough so she can hear me.
No, she's. I think she's on the march. Yeah. Anyway, so Bristol City taking a moment now just to reorganise. 1-0 down they are here, but they've showed some bright sparks. They've had chances of their own in this game, so still very much game on. Dave Thompson with a throw in. He's got quite a throw on him. Gets it up to halfway, goes out again. And I think this is Lemon Hayne Evans now who gets the ball in across the midfield. They're good at knocking the ball across the midfield. It's Harry Pace now, but he puts it back. They're not. There's not a lot of go for. But I mean, having said that, Bristol City are keeping the ball when they've got the ball. Paulton Rovers haven't. Now it's a long ball over the top here, looking for Marley Bishop. Marley Bishop finds himself on the right hand side of the box. Does on that occasion from a more difficult angle what we were hoping. Well, what we thought he should have done in that first chance.
Yeah, the Bristol City 9 had the ball coming in over his head there, and a lot of times you see people hit the target there, which he really should have done, and he did hit that instinctive shot, but unfortunately he looked like he didn't have the confidence there, Ian. I think it's just as though he didn't mean it to go on target. I don't know how you can say that by just watching the game.
I think in fairness to him it was a harder chance than the first one, and I wonder whether actually that first opportunity was playing on his mind. I think on reflection he knew what he should have done.
Yeah, must have gone through his head, and felt, well, can I make up for it with this one? Yeah, bit like a golf shot, not too much thought needed. You need to just execute it.
Now, what I didn't appreciate, Tony, was you seem, I think I don't know whether this is normal, so please take me up if it is, but you seem to you've got a sponsor's name on the back of the shirt.
Yeah, we've got one Ocus on the back of the shirt, the building contractors who have joined us this season. We have had sponsors on the back of the shirts in previous years, but that's a particularly good one. We've also got one on the shorts as well, which is a firm called Sports Elite, run by a chap called Simon Farrell, who has played a handful of games for Paulton over the years.
And who are the main shirt sponsor?
That's J-Mark of Westbury. They did all the flooring for the Olympic Village and a lot of stuff for Olympics. But they're a very big company based in and open to the public for any sort of cushion flooring, carpeting, specialist flooring in Westbury in Wiltshire.
Well, in the interest of fairness, we would give the plug to the Bristol City sponsor, but their shirts don't have one. Anyway, Paulton come forward. They're finding Brandon Barnes. He was in acres of space on his own out on that left wing. Bristol City are at danger at times of being pulled apart a little bit. Now, Cleverly finds himself in a very forward position. Again, over on the left. He's got it back to Barnes. Barnes dispossessed, uncharacteristically. He's been doing that to the Bristol City defence all game. But anyway, Paulton have won it back through Cleverly. Ball played over the top by Reaney. Brandon Barnes using all of his pace to try and keep this one in. Not sure. I think it was actually put out by...
It was one a throw-in. Yeah.
So, Paulton have won a throw-in deep into to Bristol City territory there. Good player then, again, by Barnes. Good to see Brandon Barnes picking up where he left off at the end of last season. Such a strong finish, wasn't it, for you, Tony, last season? It's that's why it's such a good thing that you've been able to keep so many of that side together.
Yeah, I mean, he's Brandon's probably about 19, I think, and he's a very strong player, and for a left winger gets a lot of goals as well. Saw a long throw there from Mike Reaney. That's one thing we had last season. We had Stuart Pearson on the right and Mike on the left. Both fullbacks could take long throws, so I'm hoping that Dave Thompson, who's taken over the right back mantle, can do the same and take some long throws.
On the left hand side, the ball's come through the centre. Now this might well be they've got a tack on this. It's a 3-on-1, putting it over to the right. Oh, and number 7, James Horgan, a judge to be offside there. But I think on that occasion we had a slightly better view than the linesman.
The linesman didn't realise it, but he was not offside in that situation. He's here listening to us, but
that's why I've put the microphone in front of your face.
Yeah, he was definitely not offside, the Bristol City player. He held his line quite well and stayed level with the back player for the Paulton side, and it was a perfectly good opportunity.
Well, it was a classic case of a very, very strong... Look, you've upset him now. He's run off up there. It was a classic case of a very strong appeal, wasn't it? I think the Paulton Rovers defence were appealing very strongly there for that offside, because they realised they were caught short, so to speak, because it was a 3-on-1 there, and pulled out over onto this right-hand side. I think perhaps they'd taken it, if they'd gone a bit more central with that, they would have certainly threatened. But anyway, it was adjudged to have been offside. They bring it away now again. This is number 7, Horgan, to 8, Morell in the centre of the park through Lemonheim Evans. They get the ball over to the left. I think this is the left back, Josh Allen. And they've got it back into the centre of the park, Morell again. And Dean Evans there, he can't get past him, but Cleverly popped up again. How many times have we seen Cleverly with a challenge, successful challenge? Good to see the Paulton Rovers captain in his pomp. Is it Tony's our stato for this evening? He reckons
10th year.
10th year. I thought you were going to say he's made 10 challenges. I thought we were going to have to rename you Tony Opta Walsh, but anyway, it's going to be a throw-in.
I've got to remember my own name, never mind all the stats.
Right then, it's Mike Reaney in front of us now. In this main stand side next to the clubhouse is where we're standing this evening, and Paulton get it up into that half, and Makuti there, very strong. He keeps going, but he's been brought down now. I'm sure that's going to be adjudged to be a free kick. I don't know if they're not going to take it. They're not taking it quickly. It's going to be brought back just inside the half. I think Cleverly wants to take it quickly, and he does. He puts it over to the right hand side. Just wanted to spread it out there, but they've lost that forward momentum. Dave Thompson gets the ball down the line, looking for Dean Evans. Evans knocks it back to Thompson. It's gone out off of a Bristol City. Yeah, it was a bit of a shame, wasn't it? Because I think that would have been. They could have put a high ball. There is height in this Paulton Rovers side, and I think a high ball there would have caused some problems at the back.
You know, they have got the advantage of the muscle, really, Paulton. And I know it's quite nice to be able to play football, but in a way, it'd be handy for Paulton to stick another couple of goals in. They could certainly do that just by muscling their way in there. And they missed that opportunity there.
Well, one thing these pre-season friendlies do give teams the opportunity to do is to go through their dead ball routines, and I think that was a good opportunity. It would have been interesting to see what the guys have been working on in the training ground. Anyway, it's Dean Evans now over and gets it through to Makuti. Makuti gets a tame shot off, and it's cleared easily, but Mapston puts it back into the mixer, but he couldn't find Brandon Barnes over on the left. The ball's gone up high over the top, looking for Marley Bishop. Marley Bishop gets in a tangle with Cleverly. Cleverly hasn't lost a challenge this game. He's gone through 2 Bristol City players.
Very, very cleverly did well there, because he had to run all the way back. He managed to keep track with a very quick Bristol City player, and he also won the second challenge when the ball went loose as well. He was not going to lose that ball, was he?
He wasn't, and he's on the ball again. He gets it out to Dave Thompson over on that right wing, the right back, but dispossessed Thompson there, but Scott Bryce was there to put that ball forward. It's cut out by City. Evans underneath it. He heads it out, so that'd be a City throw just inside their half, over on their left back position. And I think indeed it's gone back to the left back. In fact, actually, no, that's not the left back. That we were singing his praises earlier. I can't remember his name, but
he's the centre back who we thought was the Jack Button, as in timber.
Anyway, the ball's gone into the Paulton Rovers half now, and where's this throwing going to be taken, or is it a throw-in? What's going on? Yes, no.
I don't know what they're quite doing there at the Bristol City side, but that Jack Batten has drifted into the left back slot where they've been very weak, and I reckon that they've seemed to have pushed up the left back, who seems to have come forward a little bit. So I'm wondering if they've recognised that already.
Right, well, Bristol City have got the ball. They've got possession inside the Paulton half, playing it over to the right wing. James Horgan plays a little ball back to number 2, Harry Pace, plays it into the centre of the park. The ball's just gone back into the side, and of course it's Connor Lemonheim Evans now has the ball in the centre. He's been at the heart of so much of what's been good about this Bristol City side. He's definitely a player. I was going to say a name to conjure with, but of course I've been conjuring with it for all the wrong reasons. But he's definitely a player to watch in the future. Not least because, of course, he's going to cost parents a fortune when they try and pay for all the letters in his name on the back of their kid's shirt. Anyway, Cleverly comes pouring forward, and I think he's given away a free kick there, which is taken very quickly. It's back with Lemonheim Evans. didn't see much on, so he goes right, then he goes left. Number 15, Ben Withy. And all of the Bristol City players, apart from the goalkeeper, in the centre of the pitch. Withy there. Again, there's a nice little interchange. Lemonhaine Evans has licence to roam, you may have noticed, because he pops up all over the place. Anyway, Bristol City still just midway into the Paulton Rovers half. They're very patient. This is good play by them because they're putting pressure on the goal. They're looking for a breakthrough, but Paulton Rovers pretty settled in defence. Gets as far as Nick McCooty. McCooty turns and he's away. Look, let's see his pace. He's got the defence beaten, but they were all over the back of him. He's broken before any of the other Paulton players could get there, and Mike Perrott is up with him, but they didn't see him until it was too late. In fairness, I don't think he could get the ball out the bottom of his feet until there was a chance.
I think he actually tackled himself as opposed to any of the other players getting hold of him, but he had a very good opportunity to run at them there. But one thing the Bristol City players will have is pace, which he wasn't able to use against them there, unfortunately.
Particularly Harry Pace, the right back.
Yeah.
And on this occasion, it's going to be a Paulton Rovers free kick just inside the again McCooty. He's been in the wars. Considering this is a pre-season friendly, I think he's probably.
To be fair, McCooty could do a little bit more, I think, with his physicality. He's a big lad, mind. You wouldn't want to pick on him.
Anyway, Paulton Rovers have it. Trying to thread the ball through into the box, but evaded the blue shirts of Paulton Rovers, and it went straight through to Jojo Wallacott, who rolls it dangerously across the face of his goal.
Good, terrible throw out to the lad, who's actually made good use of it, but he put his players in trouble there, the goalkeeper, Jojo.
So City get the ball, they've got it wide over onto the left, just inside the Paulton half, got it into number 8, Joe Morrell. Morrell trying to dance around Dean Evans, but they're patient play, they're keeping the ball. I suppose 1-0 up, Paulton will be relatively pleased for them to keep the ball, and that was a good combination there between Rob Brown and the Paulton goal, who called loudly for it, and shielded there by Scott Bryce, who managed to deflect the on-running Marley Bishop, so he wasn't able to put pressure on that high ball. But Paulton put a high ball through their own, bit too high, goes straight through to Jojo Wallacott, and he gets things going again over on that right-hand side. It would be fair to say this is end-to-end stuff. I think they're going at quite a lick for a pre-season friendly. Well,
to be perfectly fair, Bristol City have held their ground. I felt that it was going to, once the first goal went in, it would start to disintegrate slightly, but they've carried on playing football, and they have tried to match Paulton for strength and so on, and in the second half they will be kicking downhill, although it doesn't look like much when you're here. When you're actually out on the pitch, it does make a difference.
McCooty now into the box, just on the left-hand side. He gets the ball across the face of the goal, but there's nobody there to put it in. If there had been, I think that would have been a second anyway. It gives Bristol City a chance to take it away along that left-hand side. They get the ball up again, looking for Bishop. Bishop's all on his own there, but he does well. He's got a good first touch. He keeps well, very strong. Not strong enough there, though. I'm not sure who's that. Is that Dean Evans?
Yeah.
Protesting.
Dean Evans. It wasn't a free kick. He just spoke to the referee a little bit too much.
Saying he pulled his shirt.
He caught his shirt. We couldn't.
I don't think he did.
No, we certainly didn't see him pulling his shirt, but he looked as though he made a clean tackle there.
Referee just calming things down. Dean Evans.
He's only 15 as well.
Easy.
He's been progressed to level 4 this year, which means he'll be refereeing at Southern League level, probably on the Football League line. So Bristol City now through pace, just on the edge of, just on halfway, back into the centre. This is Lemonhaine Evans into number 15, Withy. Over, I'm not entirely sure who that is, but number 8, Morell's got it now, coming forward. I think this is Pierce Mitchell. That was clever, but dispossessed again by Brandon Barnes and cleverly combination. But Brandon Barnes was trying to do it all on his own then. Paulton putting a fair few men back. Would it be? That's a lovely crossfield pass there, chested down very well by Pace. Yeah. Plays it just neatly inside him. Bristol City certainly playing some good stuff here. I think Lemonhaine Evans has it again now. He wears very distinctive boots, which makes our life a little bit easier. Gets it out to the left-hand side. Line.
And City still have it over on that left wing. Again, Lemonhaine Evans has it, and now he switches play to the centre of the pitch, back into the halfway line, but that goes forward to Ben Withy. Withy now puts a ball over the top, but that's going to be easily cut out by Reaney. and a shame in a way because looking for Morgan, but they've played it back to Paulton Rovers. Perrott has it up front, and he's Makuti. Now Makuti goes after Lemonhain Evans. He's not going to be allowed to get away with that. He's been took the man. I think he might have well taken the ball as well, but he's going to get a little telling off for that because we don't need that in a pre-season friendly. And you're a big lad. We're certainly bigger than him. He doesn't mean it, Nick said, and he gives the referee a little cuddle. Perhaps he should have given Lemonhain a cuddle as well. But take it quickly, Bristol City. That's arrested their momentum, which has been quite useful. Paulton have been in a defensive mode for the last few minutes. Do you think they might be feeling the pre-season fatigue a little bit, Tony?
Well, we've got to get match fit. As I say, most of these lads have just been playing half a match most games, so no, I don't think so. I think there is a lot of ability, and I was thinking the way that Alex Ball actually used to play, even though he's a right back predominantly for Paulton. I mean, he scored loads of goals because he used to be on the end of all sorts of movements, and this interchanging is very reminiscent of the way of Alex's style of football himself.
Well, that brings us to half time. It's 1-0 here to Paulton Rovers, the hosts, against this Bristol City Academy side. Now, Tony, just before we let you go and get some refreshment, from the Paulton Rovers perspective, obviously you're 1-0 up, but we've seen Bristol City play some good stuff in this game. How happy are you?
I'm relatively happy. I mean, they're a good. I mean, let's face it, Bristol City have handpicked players from quite a wide area of the West Country and further afield. So these kids are top of the shop and they're on display, as you say, hopeful of getting a permanent professional contract. And some of these lads may well not make it, and they'll be looking to come to Southern League sides like Paulton in years to come. From Paulton's perspective, yes, could have been 1, maybe 2-0 up would have been probably a happy result. But yeah, it's a good run out for the lads, and we'll see how many changes are made at half time. Probably we're going to see 6 or 7.
Well, we'll see what the second half brings us. I mean, given that you're 1-0 up now, how disappointed will you be if Paulton don't run out winners of this game?
Oh, we would be disappointed because obviously we're at home. And it builds up the confidence because there's not a lot at stake of pre-season games except getting match fitness, but you do gain confidence from winning. And as we saw last season, once we got into a winning streak in the league, we moved from below mid-table to fifth and sixth position and got into the playoffs. So that's our aim this season, if not higher. I mean, we'd like to think that we could be there or thereabouts. We're up against sides playing an awful lot of money out, which I don't think they've got personally, but when you've got to promotion, you've got to sustain it. We've seen that with Frome. They don't pay big wages, even though they're in the Premier Division now. So that's what we've got to follow. We've got to build on the existing squad and bring through players from the youth side who mean that we can fit within our budget.
Yes, speaking as a Portsmouth fan, I feel qualified to talk about football clubs that spend well beyond their means. But the funny thing that struck me about your last pre-season, you had a fantastic last pre-season, but the first couple of months were a bit of a headache for you. Obviously, it's been a mixed bag so far, but I suppose you'd trade an average pre-season for a strong start to this season's campaign.
Oh yeah, we got to start a lot stronger than last season. Our first game is away at Godalming, which won't be easy because they've come out of the Central Division. They've got a new manager. They're bringing. I think they've signed 5 new players in the last 4 days. So we don't know what we're going to be facing with all these new teams and the wholesale changes that have been going on at clubs that we played last season. So all we can do is be on our best for the beginning of the season, and then hopefully we'll get the results.